And now you know that one of the videos I did yesterday, we were talking about Renaissance acquiring 12 million worth of shares. Now it appears that Renaissance is not the only company that was buying Nio shares or Nio equities. We've got Millennium Management, we've got Jane Street Group, we've got Wolverine, we've got Bank of America, DE Shaw, Volridge Investment, Man Group. All these companies in Q3, they were acquiring quite significant amount of Nio shares. The first one, which is Renaissance, it was 12 million, followed by Englander of 9.3 million, 6.4 million, 5.7 million, 3.6, 3.4, 3.4, 2.9. All these companies in Q3 acquired this amount of shares, which is something that shows you that they were bullish in Q3 when it comes to the purchases of Nio. But I must say that this list here does not include those institutions that were selling. There are also those that I think they trimmed their investments onto Nio, but this list specifically is showing us those institutions that bought, which is something that is pretty exciting, something that is amazing, and it shows us that if they are adding like this, then you and me should most definitely encourage to do the same, because part of the reason they are adding, it's of course the fundamentals they see on the Nio stock is because of the massive Chinese stimulus which has been announced, which is something that is bullish also onto Nio. The stimulus, you will know that it will benefit all EV makers, new energy vehicle makers in China, because China is going to make sure that consumers don't struggle to afford cars, which is something that is just so good, because then consumers will be able to go, it will be easier for them to go buy their new energy vehicle cars like Nio. I mean, some of China's plans to help consumer afford these cars is dropping interest rates, which is something that is pretty exciting. So yeah, man, there's just so much happening in China, and seeing that our favorite Nio in Q3, these kind of companies bought Nio heavily like this, it's just something that is just bullish, so amazing. And honestly, it makes me want to load the boat, because I do not think that a company can buy 12.5 million shares with an intention of selling those shares maybe in a space of a month. These guys, I think they are in this for the long term, because they see the potential that lies within the Nio stock. It's pretty exciting to see that institutions like Bank of America were acquiring the very same Bank of America that a couple of months ago they were coming and were bearish onto Nio. Now they were acquiring as many shares as possible, which is the same thing that I always tell you today. Don't just sometimes take what these institutions say, because sometimes what they need, the reason why they say bad stuff about some companies is because they want to drop the share price down. They want to call the short sellers to drop the share price down so that they may buy it at a discount. It explains, or this is what I think Bank of America did, because the very same, like I said, Bank of America, a couple of weeks ago they were bearish, but in Q3 we are reading here that they were buying Nio shares, which this is good news. This is of course bullish to the investors, and it shows that you need to obviously make sure that you do your own due diligence, because when some investors, when they hear stories coming from big institutions like Bank of America, they don't take that very likely, and they end up reacting, selling their shares, not knowing that the very same Bank of America, in the next couple of weeks after that statement, they are buying massively, or they are heavily investing onto Nio. I mean, Bank of America, you are talking about 3.62 million shares which they acquired during Q3, which this is bullish, this is massive, and it makes me honestly to want to load the boat. And it shows you that don't rely too much on big financial institutions, because they can do whatever they can to make sure that they generate as much money, even if it takes shorting the stock down so that they buy it at a good price. They can do that, which is something that, this is a lesson learned. This is something that, of course, we won't fall under the pressure of selling because big financial institutions are saying do so. They are not, their sentiment on a stock, it's a sell, right? I mean, these 8 companies, they bought shares over 30 million of Nio in Q3, which, like I said, it shows you of how bullish this is, especially that companies can be able to buy this amount of shares the day that Nio gets to profitability, which is next year. I'm telling you, it's going to be lights out for this stock, because this big financial institutions, it won't be just them aggressive when it comes to adding the Nio shares, but it will be also other institutions, which is something that is incredible, amazing, and bullish onto the stock. And it makes you to take the low trading price right now of Nio as an opportunity to load the boat. I know share price wise Nio might not be doing that well, but as I'm doing this video, in Hong Kong Nio it's up 3%, Singapore Nio it's up 2%, which maybe might be signaling that today we might also see the New York Stock Exchange finishing the day on a green, which is something that of course it's amazing, and we look forward to the New York Exchange, which is bullish, which is massive, and we look forward to that. This week it's a big week for Nio. Tomorrow will be insurance registrations. Wednesday it will be the Q3 earnings, and boy, I must say these two events, so many of the investors will want to see what really transpired. Insurance registrations tomorrow. What will be important is to see if the figure did not spike, because on last week's report what we got is that Nio could not deliver almost 1,000 vehicles due to the backlog in Shanghai of registering cars, which is something that I hope, if that was resolved indeed beginning of this week, then we should be seeing Nio delivering massive figures this week, or reporting massive figures tomorrow for last week, which is something that we obviously look forward to. So tell me what you think about this, man. Do your own due diligence, because if investors are buying or big financial institutions are buying, you and me, I think there is no reason why we should not do the same. I mean, these are not the only institutions that bought Nio at that time. I will tell you that, because even if you check, the lowest on this top 8 acquired like 2.9 million shares. There are others that did. It's just that this list is showing the top 8, right? Which is something that is bullish, something that is amazing, and it shows us the fundamentals and the future prospects that are surrounding the Nio stock. And those that are panic selling, or those that want to increase your holdings, and before you do any other thing, you need to remember to do your own DD, so that at least you are comfortable. But before you do that, you need to do your own DD, so that at least you're comfortable as you are investing onto this stock. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell, so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. That's all from me, and God bless you all.